Yeah, so now we're going to continue our number two. Number two, management of systems. We got the financial system, we got the law, we got government. And if you're a business owner, you got your accounting department, you got your logistics, you got your sales, you got your marketing and all that. You're a small business owner. Obviously, you don't got all these departments, but you got your section, even though it's in your book. You got the sales part of your book, you got the accounting part, you got the logistics part. Even in your book, even if you're a small business owner, you got all those. So even though it's in your book, it's a department, because the goal is to get bigger, right? So eventually, it started in your book, but it's gonna be physical. It's gonna be manifested physically. So we got all these systems. So all the systems, they need to have clearly defined roles. You understand? Clearly defined roles and responsibilities for each of those systems, for the people, for the people that are that are in that segment, or in that segment of the business. So there has to be clearly defined roles and responsibilities for those processes to ensure proper running of the machine, because the business is a machine. The machine needs to keep running at optimum frequency, optimum efficiency for progress of the business and all that. So all these systems, they need to be clearly defined, the roles and responsibilities. They need to be clearly defined. They need to be well understood. There has to be checks and balances, and everything needs to be proper. You understand? Properly managed. Management of systems. So that's number two. Then number three, management of people. This is as important as any part of business. Management of people. Because in our everyday life, we deal with people. If you're an employee, you deal with people because you're working with people. If you're an employer, you deal with people. So we deal with people in our everyday life, in all our endeavors. We are dealing with people. So you need to know how to manage people. You need to know how to develop relationships. Proper relationships, beneficial relationships. So even some people going to tell you, some rich people, and I'm sure you saw that video with 50 Cent that he was talking about, your relationship is gonna, even me, I've been in difficult situations, but I'm grateful for the relationships that I have that was able to help me out of those situations. Because if I didn't have those relationships, I would have been, I wouldn't be here. Matter of fact, I'm here right now because some of the relationships I have, because some of the good friends, some of my homies, some good people that I have in my life. So you need to be able to develop relationships that that you're gonna benefit from, and people that are gonna benefit from you. So it's very important. It's very vital. So management of cash flows, management of systems, management of people, the main management skills needed for success. To be an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur. So now we're going to add one extra to that. There's your management of time. Management of time. Your personal time. You have to be able to schedule your time effectively to maximize your outcome. You understand what I'm saying? You got to be able to schedule your time. You have to be conscious of your time, of what you do with your time. Because time is the most valuable. Is most valuable than anything else. Because our time on this planet is limited. So you guys should manage your time effectively. Let's say you're trying to own a car dealership. What are you supposed to do with your time when you're trying to own a car dealership? You guys should research cars. You guys should study cars. First of all, it's good if you love cars. You guys love cars. Because if you love cars now, you're going to take your time to know about cars. So you're trying to own a car dealership, you guys should study cars, research. You're going to know the different types of cars, the engines, the trading aspect, import and export of cars and all that. You're going to study car dealerships. Successful car dealerships. You know, the owner of these dealerships, you're gonna study how they got it started, how they went about it, you know, how the business got successful. You understand? So you're gonna study the business, the owners. Then, so you know, it could help again studying those that weren't successful, and you're gonna know the reasons why they were not successful. So you're gonna know what not to do. So this is what your time should be focused on. So this is called proper management of time. So if you're trying to own a car dealership, but you're out here studying sports, you know, studying whatever, you know, studying TV, how TV is made, how is that going to help your business? That's not using your time properly. So management of your personal time, very essential. So now that's for the main management skills needed for success. So now we got the next one, 5 main reasons of not generating wealth or generating large amount of cash flow from financial literacy. So now you know so now you got all these skills, but for some reason you're not generating cash flow. You're not being successful. What are the reasons? Maybe number 1 reason is fear. You can't operate in fear. You got to be courageous. You got to be bold. You got to be brave. You got to be confident. Confidence is key. Whatever you want to do, whatever you're trying to do, you got to be confident about it. If you're not confident about it, don't even do it. So you got to get your confidence up. You can't operate in fear. If you, like they say, if you can see it, you can achieve it. So you got to have the vision. You have the vision, then you make your plan. Then you follow through. You got to eliminate fear. Total annihilation of fear. You have no space. You have no room for fear. So you got to do it. You got to go. Keep going. You fail, you fall, you get up again. You got to focus, keep going. You fall, get up again. You fall, get up again. That's how it goes. So no fear. Number 2, cynicism. What's cynicism? Don't be a skeptic. Don't be negative. You got to stay positive. You got to stay optimistic. You can't be pessimistic. Nah, you got to get rid of the negativity. You got to be optimistic. Yo, I'm gonna do it. Yo, there's obstacles. Yeah, but I'm gonna break through that obstacle. I'm gonna overcome that obstacle. I'm gonna do it. Positive attitude, enthusiasm. You got to be enthusiastic. You got to be optimistic. Don't be a skeptic. Get rid of cynicism. Get rid of pessimism. That's number 2. Number 3, laziness. You can't be lazy about your goal. You got to work smart. Not just, you got to work hard, but it has to be smart. You got to work smart. Because, when I was in college, I remember a lecturer, he was like, lazy people. The whole premise of technology is based on laziness. He said, lazy people change the world. I'm like, really? Because he was like, yeah, look at it, right? Somebody was like, yo, why do I have to walk all these miles to go to that place? I need something faster. Because people have been walking for millennia, for centuries. But he's like, nah, man, I can't do that, man. I'm too lazy for that. So what does he do? Invented a wheel. Now there's wheels. From there, cars were invented. You understand? So some people see that as laziness. Because it's like, man, I can't do all that hard work. Like, just like mowing the grass. Somebody's like, why I gotta cut the grass? I'm cutting the grass, doing this for hours to cut grass, to cut down the trees. So somebody invented the mower. All you gotta do is just mow. Then the grass is cut. You got the machine. You cut down the trees. Some people see that as being lazy. His laziness led him to invent something. But it takes great skill. It takes concentration. It takes dedication to even invent shit like that. So there's always two sides to everything. But the point is, you can't be lazy, even though some people consider that as laziness. But I'm sure they're driving cars now. Those same people, they're driving the cars. They're using the mowers. So you can't be lazy about your goals. You might want to make things easy for you. You might find ways of making things easy. I think they call that efficiency. So you might find ways of making it easy, but you can't be lazy about it. So you got to go hard. You got to go hard. So that's number 3. Number 4, bad habits. Hey, everybody's got one, right? But you know what they say? Bad habits requires commitment. So you can't be committed to your goals and be committed to a bad habit. It's not gonna work. You got to be committed to one thing. Right? Like they say, you can't serve 2 masters. Because imagine you have a master, and your master knows you have another master. Your master is going to be like, nigga, fuck. You can't have 2 masters. It's either me or them. So you can be committed to your bad habits and be committed to your goals. One has got to go. So you got to choose. So bad habits gets in the way. That's number 4. Then number 5, arrogance. Ego. Ego, it leads to downfall. It leads to bad things happening. So you got to get rid of the ego, especially when you're coming up. Even when you're up there, your ego sometimes leads to your downfall. So you can be arrogant. Like I said, in the previous example that I mentioned about relationships, mutually beneficial relationships, in developing proper relationships, arrogance is not going to help in achieving such. So you got to get rid of arrogance. Let me cite an example. Tupac, the greatest rapper that ever lived. What if I told you he used to dance? He used to dance for another rapper. The first time you saw Tupac was in a video with Digital Underground. Same song. That was the first verse that he kicked. He not his first verse, but the first time we heard him on wax. It was in that song, on that video. The same people he used to dance with them. I've seen him on stage, in Speedos. His bush was showing. He was doing the Humpty dance on stage. But now he's been dead 26, 27 years, but he's still the biggest rapper ever. Imagine if he was arrogant, if he didn't let go of his ego, if he didn't do that dance with those people, would he have gotten to the place where he is now? Because if you look at him, you're going to be like, yo, this dude is arrogant. This guy is the most egotistic. But on his way up, he had to get rid of that ego. He had to tone it down. Because as a rapper, your arrogance helps. But at the right time, he knew what he needed to do. He knew when to tone it down, and then he knew when to use it. Even though he might have used it wrongly sometimes, but on his come up, he knew to tone it down. He needed to get rid of it. So arrogance doesn't help. So those are the 5 reasons. 5 main reasons of not generating wealth from financial literacy. Number 1, fear. 2, cynicism. 3, laziness. 4, bad habits. 5, arrogance. So that's that. Like I said before, you might need to watch this video over and over and over. I'm not a financial expert. You know, these are things that I studied. These are researches that I made. These are things that have worked for people that are immensely successful. So I'm using it. So I'm sharing it with you. You can use it as well. And we can share results later. You dig what I'm saying? Thank y'all for rocking. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. You know, if you got additional points to this or disagreements, put it in the chats. I'll see y'all later, man. Peace.